Hey, it's Jason, Nomadic Pagan. Welcome to week 44 of the 9 virtues. Today we're covering moderation. Let's jump right into it. Related to requirement number 1, the 9 virtues require reading our own Druidry page 13. Virtue, piety, and study in 9 pagan virtues. Our own Druidry page 81 and 86, the lore and essays. Optional reading of Virtuous Life, Real Magic, and Druid Progress, issue 8. Never heard of that one. Interesting. Welcome to the 8th of the 9 virtues, moderation. Moderation is, of course, the second and the third triad I explained in week 13, the triad that corresponds to the producing class. You might consider going back to read through week 13's lesson to get a background if you have forgotten most of it. Homework. The Dedicant Handbook defines moderation as follows: cultivating one's appetite so that one is neither a slave to them nor driven to ill health, mental or physical, through excess or deficiency. Read through that statement until you think you understand it. In your Dedicant notebook, answer the following questions. Does that definition cover moderation in your eyes? Is it simply watching what you eat, or is there more to it? What does a definition mean by cultivating one's appetites in excess or deficiency? Do these terms sit well with you? Are they too vague or perhaps too specific? If that definition doesn't quite sit well with you, head to your nearest dictionary and read a definition that it provides. Write it down. It is strongly recommended that you include a dictionary definition in your final write-up. Do any of these definitions make sense? Can you encompass all that moderation is? Now think of your own personal views of moderation. Try to write it down in words. Feel free to steal phrases from the dictionary or the handbook if you need to. Can you come up with a definition of moderation that makes good sense to you? Now think about people you know whom you would call moderate. Examine why you think of them that way. Is it something you know, something they do, or the way they did it, or something they have said? Is it something beyond this? Can you find words to describe it? Does moderation go beyond simply having friends over to your house? Does it involve offering them the best you have and making them feel welcome? What does the DP handbook mean when it talks about cultivating one appetite? Is it talking about doing something specific or a general idea of training yourself? Think about myths and legends from different cultures. How has moderation shown in the myth and legends? Was there a character in a myth that showed real moderation? How was that moderation displayed? In the Rome, I don't know. Somebody gives up the kingship of Rome and goes back to his plow. How does this fit with your idea of moderation? Do you see yourself as a moderate person? Moderate in some ways but not others, perhaps? Not moderate at all? Does one need to show moderation consistently to understand the concept of moderation, or to wonder about moderation? Can anyone have moderation? Moderation is most often defined in terms of not drinking too much or perhaps eating too much. Are there other arenas where this is more important? Why is there such an emphasis on alcohol and foods? Does this emphasis cause us to not to think about other kinds of moderation? Think of a time when you have exemplified this virtue. How did it feel? How did you feel? Did you know that this was a virtue at that time? Now think about a time when you failed to show this virtue. How did that make you feel? Did you feel as if you'd done something wrong or inaccurate? Finally, is moderation a virtue? Is it one that you agree should be on ADF's list? Why was it chosen? What is it about moderation that either makes it a virtue or keeps it from being one? If you have decided that it is not a virtue, would you suggest another term, removing it altogether, or replacing it with something else entirely? Now go back through your answers to those questions and form a response of at least 125 words to describe your understanding of virtue of moderation. And you have your 8th of your 9 virtues essays out of the way. Let's go to my moderation here. Moderation, Webster Dictionary defines it in a way that is reasonable and not excess, in a moderate way. Dedicant Handbook defines moderation as follows: cultivating one appetite so that one is neither a slave to them nor driven to ill health, mental or physical, through excess or deficiency. When I think of moderation, my thoughts are a limiting consumption of something, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or food. But moderation goes deeper than those mundane items. To practice moderation has a much broader horizon. Too much of anything can be bad for you. Be that in relationship, if you put too much pressure on your partner, or do not not give them enough space, you can have a toxic relationship. Too many drugs or alcohol consumption can lead to abuse, overabundance, or even death. Even exercise or training can be bad if you do it too much. It can cause injury, exhaustion, or even lack of desire to go further. In my life so far, I could certainly use more usage of moderation between eating too much, smoking too much, and even exercising too much in later times after I cut back on the first two mentioned. Moderation is a good virtue to follow. Alright, y'all. Join us next week for week 45, the 9 virtues of fertility. We'll catch you then. Until then, blessed be, y'all. This is Jason on Pagan signing off. Blessed be.